Howdy, it's Matt, and in this video, this is my first attempt at chasing another Teksumo around the sky using FPV. So as you can see that I've just been and taken off, and it will take about a minute for Craig to get himself ready, and also I just wanted to make sure everything on my Teksumo was working as expected, and I'd already had a couple of flights previous to this as well. I'd been out with my Mini Skywalker, and if you've not seen the Mini Skywalker series, there's a little link in the top right hand corner. Fantastic little model, and I had like a 15-20 minute flight with the Mini Skywalker. I did get some FPV footage of that flight, but to be honest, it's kind of boring because I'm just off exploring the common where we were flying. Now, I'd also like to say a really big hat tip to Craig, and the reason why I'm saying a really big hat tip to Craig, because his flying was absolutely fantastic. We swapped roles after this video, or after this flight, and trying to keep in front of Craig was really difficult. And Craig's experience, he's getting there, but with the roles reversed, it was very tricky indeed. Now, as I do a left here, so I've quickly previewed the video, and it's about 1 minute 40 is where I go and pick up Craig. But if you look really closely down there on the ground, you'll be able to pick up the shadow. And I ended up just knowing where Craig was coming by the darker shadow down on the grass. So for my first attempt at following a model, I don't think I did that bad, and yeah, I did get pretty close to him quite a few times. By the way, not as close as Craig got to my bonsai. He took a bite out of my bonsai elevon earlier today. But yeah, once you've got it in frame, you kind of know where the other model is. And as we learned near the end, is that the faster you fly, the easier this is. Now that may sound really strange, but as you can see, the sun's coming out there. We were getting quite a bit of thermal activity going on, and yeah, it started to get a little bit tricky because you'll just see the Teksumos just going up in the air by themselves, and that was just purely because we were getting thermal. Now, it's also worth pointing out that me and Craig were in constant communication down on the ground. We were just relaying where we thought each other were, and like, oh, I'm coming up, I'm up in front of you, you should be able to see me now. Alright, stay there, I'll catch up with you. And we had great communications going on. And yeah, once you'd kind of got him in the screen, that was it. I could pretty much lock into where he was, and then we obviously had an issue with speeds, trying to get those right because I was speeding up trying to catch up with him. And then yeah, Craig's line of sight flying is absolutely fantastic. He was very quickly and very able to get back round, and he said, look Matt, just carry on round, do the circuit, and I'll catch up with you in front of you. I'm going to cut the corner off, and you should start seeing me about now, for example. Yeah, there you go, you can see him up in the sky. And yeah, what an absolutely amazing experience, and I can't wait for Craig for his experience level to come up so that we can then just do like circuits and chase each other around using FPV. That is just going to be so cool. But for my first attempt at chasing another model around the sky, and by the way, I tried this with the quad as well, that was insanely difficult. With a flying wing, yeah, while tricky, wasn't that hard, if that makes sense. It was just trying to keep him in sight and knowing where he was. And I was always worried that if I'd gone underneath him, if I come up and then I'll end up knocking him out the sky or something like that. So I just let Craig carry on and just relay the info where he was. And you can see him up over to my right, and I think I synced down a bit. Again, I'm trying to remember what happened earlier today for the actual flight itself. But yeah, absolutely brilliant flight, and it's just one of those experiences, being able to chase another model around the sky. And like I was saying, near the end of this video, we started picking up the pace, and the irony is, the faster you go, the easier this is. We've got two very different motor setups, so Craig, I think he's running an NTM prop drive 2200 kV with a smaller prop. And this was actually my 4S setup, which I was running on 3S, so I'm using a D35-36 motor with an 8x6 prop. So two very different types of motors or approaches to the Teksumo. So trying to match speed was pretty tricky, if that makes sense, trying to get the throttle right. But yeah, look what's going on the screen right now. That is well cool. For me being what is essentially quite an inexperienced FPV pilot, and Craig's flying was just absolutely brilliant. Again, when we switch roles later, as we go around to the left here, is that you don't actually realise how sunny it is on that day. It was just extremely bright, really bright. And I freely admit that when I was flying line of sight, I lost orientation for about 3 or 4 seconds trying to work out where I was in the sunshine. So we soon agreed that we'll keep away from that corner as much as we can. And luckily enough, a big cloud came in later. So this is us. This is me trying to catch back up with Craig. We've seen him just go above me. And if you look just down there on the ground, I'm not actually looking for Craig above me. I was actually trying to follow his shadow to try and work out where he was in relation to me, which sounds a bit daft, but it's also actually a big testament to this FPV camera. So I'm using the Runcam Swift, brilliant little camera, by far the best picture quality which I had on the day, and I used 2 other models which had an FPV camera in them. But this one was just like the best all-rounder. It kind of didn't matter how bright it was or if a cloud had gone over the sun. There was no dark patches per se. It was just perfectly flyable. And there you go. There's Craig. He's come back over the top. So I tell you what, I'm going to end the commentary right now, and I'm going to put the rest of the music on in the background. I hope you enjoy the rest of the flight. And like I said, this is my first attempt at following a model around using FPV. And yeah, I had so much fun, and a big hat tip to Craig. Thank you for being my target on the screen. It was very cool indeed. So with that said, for myself, Matt, thank you ever so much for watching, and as always, cheerios!